that is coming into the classroom nowadays. It's so discouraging to our classroom teachers to have the level of disrespect, to have the level of almost confrontation in the classroom. That discouraged. I know my wife comes home throughout the school year and tells tales of this child and that child who's lashed out, not through their own fault. They're born into this world as a gift, and it's the parents or the grandparents who create those dysfunctions within the family that cause that stress and trauma to come upon that young life, and they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to process it in their brains. And so they act out. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe they don't have electricity at home. Maybe their parents are struggling with addiction. We don't know why, many times, that they bring those types of attitudes into the classroom. But here tonight, you have exceeded the expectations of the classroom teacher by bringing your child through this year, this journey, to be able to celebrate tonight the achievement that so many of those in the classroom wish they could accomplish. So young boys, young girls, thank your parents, thank your grandmothers, grandfathers, for loving you, for showing you a good way to live as an example. As coming up on the elevator, and if you came up on the elevator, you saw this little poster that had two pies. A small slice, one piece of the pie had 900 hours spent in a classroom. A big piece of the pie, 7,800 hours a child spends at home. So you are the greatest influence as parents on these young children's lives. Make the most of it. Read to the young ones. Show them that you are enthusiastic about their journeys, their educational journey. Support them whenever you can. But don't be afraid to discipline them. Take away that Game Boy. Take away that the Xbox when they don't do their homework, when they don't turn in their lessons, when they spend too much time in front of that computer, in front of the video games. Because it's important. There's a balance. And I think that most of these students here tonight realize that. And focus their attention on their academics, as it should be. Because we want you to be successful. That's why this program is here. Our Indian students here. How many of you were here last year? Pretty good number. Good. Welcome back. Well done. Once again. And for those of you who this is the first time, realize what we're doing here tonight in celebrating the achievements of our students and help them to understand the importance of that academic pursuit in their lives. It was so important to me. I'm a first-time college family. My mother and father, my dad went to the 7th grade. My mother went to high school. But my parents both promoted education in the family. They sacrificed. My father, there were 6 children. My dad never made more than $7,000 in his life a year. So it was a challenge for them. But they sacrificed. They bought us a set of childcraft books. And for me, it was an exciting and an engaging opportunity to see what the world was through that set of books. And I read it from cover to cover, all 10 books. That's because we didn't have any 250 channels to watch back then. live out in the country, isolated, dirt roads, outhouses. That's really the only way I could escape that environment. But I did. So much so that by the time I was in the 3rd grade, I was reading on a 12th grade level. By the time I was in high school, I was student council president, editor of my yearbook, a class officer. And finally, when I graduated, I was the National Merit Scholar. That's the top 1% in this country. And that was my parents. They sacrificed. Like I said, my dad never made more than $7,000. They had to pay for those books on installment. But they knew the value. And when my sister graduated, or when she retired, she was the first one to go to college. There were 5 of us that received our college degrees out of the 6. And we were an example. And like Cricket said, you come from a strong foundation. You're going to make it more often than not, as long as you make the good choices. So youngsters, make those good choices. Think about your future down the road and what you will want to accomplish in your young life. Because this meant all the world to me. I could have gone, in fact, I could have gone to Harvard or Notre Dame. Both of them wanted me. But I chose University of Oklahoma. I'm glad I did. That people like Cricket, Mr. Shields.
Stole him out.
But he showed me through his life, through his journey, the connection that tradition means in our lives. It's important. And that was the one thing that my father and mother, they kept from us, because my father was a fundamentalist minister. And he was taught that you had to put your culture aside in order for your spirituality to be uplifted. That was the one thing that really troubled me as we were growing up. And he realized it, my mother realized it after we were older. And so we're reconciling that now. In fact, my niece is married to his nephew, who is a traditional, he's a fancy dancer. And we're so thankful for that. They're raising their young son, 3-year-old. He's in the arena now. And you can see an image of him on YouTube as he does his fancy dancing. So we're very thankful, for what our culture means. And that's what this program does. It helps supplement the education of our youngsters with the pride and the strength that comes from our culture, our collective cultures. 39 different tribes in this state. It's a rich state for all that's available for our Indian people. And so I'm thankful that we're able to help support our students. Those who struggle, who have challenges, we have programs to help provide tutoring. We have culture to bring pride to our students. So take advantage of it, and he needs your help. We need good parent committee members to be involved with the program, to help give guidance and input. So if you have the opportunity, volunteer and be a part of this process, because it becomes invaluable in terms of what you're able to provide extra support for our students. I had the privilege to be an Indian education director, like Mr. Shields, in Anadarko for 13 years. And it was a pleasure, and it was the highlight of my career. And I miss the interaction with these youngsters, and especially this time of year, because we work hard all year with those students who have challenges. And for us to be able to recognize the strengths of our students, it's a good thing. And I'm thankful that Putnam City Schools Indian Education Program recognizes and values that. We need to help show and demonstrate what a good student is. The strong reader, the good mathematician, the good group leader. We need those strengths among our students. So I want to say this in closing. I want to show you something. One final thing that I hope will bless you. And I'll turn this on. I'll leave you with that. A blessing. Bear with me. Okay, good. Then one day, maybe some of you students will be down at the University of Oklahoma doing your part to be a proud Sooner. Hold on.
No difficulties. I'm taking the book.
One of you children come up and It's a song that I first found. I gave it to my brother when he graduated from Cameron University back in the 80s. It's very appropriate. It's a blessing. My son, see if you can recognize it.
Who is it?